Here. Beautiful. So thank you so much for joining us. These are really informal little chats that I try to do sort of once a month. And it's really just so that we can get to know each other heaps better and find out what each other, it's really Aussie, find out what we do. I was going to say what each other does. So find out what we do and just really connect, because it's hard. You can post in the group as much as you like till the cows come home, but it doesn't necessarily mean we're getting to know you on a better basis. So I find that connection works really well. So if you would like to start, who would like to start? Maybe just introduce yourself and tell us a bit about what you do. Andrew's face is on my screen, so there you go. Thank you.
Well, it's just that I do this in my class all the time, and I'm trying to teach my students. I go, in America, if you were asked to stand up and perform, they fight to get to the front because this is your career. But in Australia and New Zealand, especially in New Zealand, we're so shy that no one wants to get up first. Like, no, I'll go last. I'm like, oh, that's the attitude. That's the winning attitude, isn't it? So I'm practicing what I preach.
Oh, good.
So I'm Andrew Eggleton. I'll keep my long story short. And I've been in the entertainment industry for 22 years. And I just got into that because a girlfriend back when I was 20 told me that I should try some of this. And I got a commercial when I was 20 and got like $3,500 when I was 20. And I thought, you know what? This is great. I don't have to work. So I've done this ever since. And I've now really stepped into the shoes of coaching. And the reason why it comes very organically to me, and I have hard to describe, I have a sense when coaching that a lot of other coaches don't have in this field of helping people public speak and present a camera and create video, is because none of this came easy to me. In fact, the first time I got my break on TV, I made my co-presenter cry. And I was just determined to be a presenter on TV. And my mistake back then was I thought that everything I needed to say had to be amazing, or that it was life-changing or very, very funny. And so people walked away just going, God, man, Andrew, that was the best thing I've ever seen on TV. And it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all. In fact, you just need to hold the space, and pregnant pauses are just fine. So I've, in the last few years, but especially the last couple of years, I've just really, really got onto a new zone with coaching. And now I've come over to New Zealand because New Zealand's top talent agency, Klein, has asked me to take their commercial talent. So the way an agency works is you have the half, which is the 6-foot beautiful anorexic models, and then on the other half you have the commercial part. So I'm not that PC, by the way.
That's fine.
And then on the other half you have the commercial part, and the commercial part is TV series presenting and TV commercials. And that pays in abundance normally. So that's what props up the models. The models are there for the front. That's the glamorous part of it. But they don't earn a hell of a lot. So I've been brought over to get this commercial talent up and firing. And when I took them over 3 months ago now, they literally, some of them were so messy in front of the camera they couldn't get past their name, shy and blocks, and I just used to, I create a very, very easygoing energy and space where we're working. And the first thing I always do is when they get up, I'm like, okay, let's go. And then just before they start, I go, don't fuck it up. And it brings it all down. It just brings it all down. And then I just laugh, and we just and we take away all the stuff, all the expectations that they have, because that's why we mess up what we do in front of the video, is that we go, our expectations are, well, this has to be really good. It doesn't. And I thought I'd just pass on a few little tips. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it. I think this is something any especially now with such an online world, any tips here is gold for us, because that's things that we're sort of starting to get into, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I've put some ads in, for the first time in the last 2 weeks, and I've had such an amazing response. And for me, it was very rewarding, because I'm like, oh, this whole online world does work. It was that feedback and the clients that gives you that heart to keep pushing forward. And so it's been amazing. And the two that I had yesterday, I realized that there is so much once you start getting into the whole process of it. I mean, you can see their minds just going, oh my God, I didn't realize there was so much involved. But the basics, the absolute basics are storytelling. So it's all, every video needs a story. So why are you about to talk about what you're about to talk about? And a nice way to do that is just find an in. So it could be just having a cup of coffee beside you and going, hey guys, I've just made myself a cup of coffee, and I thought this is the perfect time while I'm feeling settled to tell to you about bang, 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 bang. And that is the beginning. So the mistake so many people make is like, hi, I'm Andrew, and is that the baby crying? Oh no. Anyway, where was I? Blah blah blah. And you've lost your audience. So be punchy. What am I going to talk about? Bang bang bang. And then the listener goes, okay, I'm interested, or okay, I'm not interested. But if they're interested, you've already told them. You're not going to ramble on until 3 minutes later. They're still sitting there going, I'm still watching, but why? So you've already told them. That's the beginning. Every story is beginning, middle, and an end. And then the middle is the crux of it. What are you going to talk about? And make it nice and punchy, and make it, I'll get to the next part, which is X factor. And then and for beginners, this is the most important part. You need to know where you're going to exit. You need an exit strategy. You know how people in front of a camera start going, and then they repeat themselves, or they go, I think that's it. You just need an exit strategy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone does it. Everyone does it.
So many videos because I've got to the end and I'm like, oh, okay, see you later.
Yep. And what's funny is that if you have a structure, a beginning, middle, and an end, it actually goes very fast. And the trouble is when it goes really fast is you get to the end and go, oh my God, that can't be finished already. And then you start repeating what you've already said. And then you're like, well, you don't need to. You've done it. Bang, bang, bang. Get out of there.
Yeah.
And that makes your videos really punchy and really, really effective. And the other big thing is who you are, your personality, is your X factor. So when people talk about X factor, that's just what separates you from you, from you, from you. And you're like Teresa. You're very bubbly and vivacious and blah, blah, blah. There's lots of all these positive about who you are when we see you on camera. That's your X factor. And the more you bring that to the camera, the more it is easier to watch or more fun to watch. But then you start bringing in little tricks like, who was I telling my client yesterday, and she's saying, God, I feel like the only place that I can get away from my children to record a video is in the toilet. And I said, well, there's your story. There's your story. Take your laptop or your iPad into the toilet, sit down and just and create that, like, okay, guys, I've got 3 minutes. The children don't know where I am. I've found the only place where they don't know where I am. There's your story. I mean, and as an audience member, I'm laughing already. I'm like, I know where you are. I can see that just that you're in the toilet, and that's pretty funny. And then you can play with that. going, is that feet? No. Okay, cool. Carry on. And it's just creating you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I quite enjoyed that video. I'm going to watch that person when they come up next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing too is, which I just discovered yesterday, was no one in video threads is telling stories in parts. So maybe 3 parts. So instead of delivering a 6-minute video, deliver throughout the day 3 2-minute pieces. So at the end of the first one, you can go, okay, at the beginning you go, all right, guys, this is the first of 3 pieces, 2-minute pieces today, nice and bite-sized. Listen and move on. And then the second one and the third one, so they're nice. You're waiting for the next one. And at the end of the first one, you go, okay, that was the end of one, and I'll post the second one in another couple of hours.
Cool. That's good.
Because I swear to God, no one watches 8-minute videos.
No. And you have good intentions to come back, but I never do. I try.
You don't. And to be really fair, I don't think I've ever opened one. Because it's a sad state of affairs, isn't it, that we don't have 8 minutes to watch a video. But as I tell my students and my clients, is that I've got the option of watching an 8-minute video from someone talking about something which I'm not sure is going to be. Maybe it's helpful. Or I can go to YouTube and watch a short film, or this is for me, or something that's completely, budget and like amazing. It's a sad state of affairs, but you can knock it off, bang, 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 if it's nice and punchy.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for that. I've taken notes. I need some practice. And I did one yesterday, and apparently my lighting is really not very great. And I didn't realize it until I posted the video, and I had some beautiful ladies tell me, it was so great and we loved it, but we can't see you. So, I need some better light or something, or maybe like a lamp anyway.
Yeah, maybe. It's they say that the way you shoot it, I mean, your background, your lighting and that stuff, that's kind of the icing on the cake. But if you have that basics right, you know what I mean, which is simply the storytelling and the reason why am I going to watch you from beginning to end. If you have that down pat, it's done. And remember too that your voice is a massive tool. How many of you don't like your voice on video?
Me.
Just in general?
And all the years I've been doing this, I've never met one person. Even on my questionnaire, when I get a new client, I ask them, what do you think of your voice? And no, not one person has ever answered that they like it. I'm like, that's crazy, because it's the only one you've got.
I think mine is that people still ring and ask me if my parents are home. So that's my thing with mine. I think, how can someone take me seriously if they're still asking, if people are asking me if my parents are home? So that's the only thing I'm very conscious of. So I try to, deepen it a little bit.
Do you know what you can do? There's a, I'll hand you this for free. There's a website called edgestudio.com.
Yeah.
edgestudio.com, and it is a voiceover website. It's free to register with it, and I think they send you like 1 email a month, so it's not like a spam filled thing. And I get all my students, I say once a week or twice a week, you just pick a voiceover script and then you just play with it, and you're not just reading it, you're reading it as like you're a pirate. You're reading it like you're David Attenborough. You're reading it and you're just enjoying each juicy word as you come to it. Like really start to treat words like it's an opportunity to play with it.
Yeah.
I love it. I get such a buzz off it now. And I hated my voice. That was one of my big letdowns, because I have this nasally voice. And now when I work, I can admit it, but now when I work, my voice is the strength. Like I don't even need to try and make a story anymore. If I'm being lazy, I just use my words. I just chew on the words and play with them as I go through the script to make it sound more entertaining. So if you want to do that, it's a really good exercise. Just spend 10 minutes doing a voiceover and just make some words short, some words long, go deeper and higher and just play with it like peaks and troughs.
Yeah, that's a really good tip though, because I think that's a big one when people, even for events and public speaking and things like that.
Oh, huge.
That is
huge
something,
for public speaking.
Yeah, that's a huge barrier for people is talking, and you're not saying as much as I do. And, you know, but that's one of the things is how to feel that confidence getting up in front of people. And one of those things is words and the speaking part. So that's an amazing tip. Thank you. I'm gonna go
you can have people hanging on your every word if you just learn how to use your voice.
Yeah.
You know? And it's important that when you're public speaking is that sometimes you get punchy and it just pulls people out. You're like, oh, I'm back. What was that?
Yeah.
You know, if you got that guy or girl nodding off in the corner, you just walk over to that side of the stage and bang, and you wake everybody back up again.
Cool.
Or you fire a question at them.
Yeah.
Just like back at school. You're like, what?
Oh, God, yeah. Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to do that. I have a speaking thing in 2 weeks. I've done some before, but I haven't done any for about 6 months. So I feel like I'm out of practice. So I might go and do that. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Who would like to go next?
Maybe me.
Hi.
I'm feeling very nervous about talking now, so I think that I should keep going with it. And but Andrew, you're a hard one to follow. Being a video expert, and I am not a video expert at all. So
and you're amazing at branding.
But I'm sure there's things that you do that I have that I'm not even comparable with what you do.
He's an amazing branding specialist, Andrew. You'll love
there you go. Marketing and branding are not my strengths.
Yes.
Right. But yeah, just the thought of even talking about myself, my heart starts going boom, boom, boom. Like, what am I going to say? But I guess I'll just say it from the heart. Here we go. So as Teresa said, I work in branding for small heart-centered businesses, and my approach is really soulful. My business is called Soul Stirring Branding. So that kind of gives you an indication about what I'm all about. So it's all about finding out your message and what's true to your heart and soul, and then translating that visually, so that there's sort of intention with everything we do with your brand identity design. So, you know, it's not just picking random colors that you like and random fonts. There's just an intention and a purpose behind it, and it should reflect your personality and the kind of emotions you want your audience to feel and your values and just a lot of different aspects to it. So it's a lot of fun. I get to work with some really, really amazing, inspiring clients in all sorts of industries, and I love how just broad it is. You know, I don't work in one particular industry, and I like the diversity and just getting, you know, just diving deep into their whole world and finding out all about them, and it's really exciting. I'm also a New Zealander, Andrew, but I've been living here in Australia from Auckland.
You guys are taking over.
Yeah. I've been here for 10 plus years, so I think I've lost my accent now. But yes, I've been running my business for about 3 years now, 3+ years. And I didn't always start out working in branding. I mean, it was always something that I really loved, but I think like a lot of people, it takes a while to sort of find your niche and find your place and just work out what you love. So I studied in graphic design, and then, you know, I was just working really broadly. But I always loved branding. That was something that I was really passionate about, but I didn't know, I guess at the time, whether that could be a business all on its own. And then, so I guess for a few years, I was just sort of going along, whatever work I could, you know, not always working with the right clients, which is so common. And I guess last year, it was just really a transitional point for me where I was like, okay, you know, I know what I want to do, and I invested in some business coaching, and I really just took those steps to take things to the next level. And that's when I rebranded and focused on my niche. and I really developed my branding, which is another funny thing. A lot of people never really invest in the thing that they are really good at. Like it's what is it? Like the shoemaker who doesn't have any shoes, along those lines.
The mechanic that has a bomb car.
Yeah, like it's so common, and it's so funny because I just always thought the work will speak for itself. I don't really need to promote. I was working a lot with word of mouth, and I had a few people that would refer me, but I wasn't doing a lot of marketing. And now looking back and seeing the success that I have had with marketing, I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this sooner? Because it's been amazing. And I think I was just really nervous to put myself out there. And, you just get in your comfort zone and you don't want to push it further. But it was last year where I made this big investment, and I, was developing, what felt true to me in my business, what was true to my heart and soul, and how could I express that visually. I developed this brand that I really love and really speaks to me for the first time, because previously I was working under just my personal name, and I had a very simple black and white identity, and it just didn't say anything about me. But I thought, for some strange reason, I thought that I had to be professional, and I had to keep it simple, and I just had to let the work speak for itself. And it was just such a transition when I finally thought, okay, actually, that doesn't feel authentic to me. And then I just started the process of exploring what did. And then I came out the other end with my new branding and my website. And it just feels amazing. And it gives you so much confidence when you can put out a message that just feels authentic to you and that is the best representation of your business. So,
I think sorry to interrupt, Dan, but that's really important, is how you said you had just plain colours, and then because you thought you had to be professional. This is something that I come up against every day with my clients. Your clients want you to be you and authentically you. And if that is just you being someone you think that they want, then that's not being you. And that runs through to your social media posts, to your colours and everything. And that's why I love what you do when you do the branding, because you actually go in depth with that stuff. And I think a lot of people really do think it's just about colours and what the client wants to see, but they just want to see you. They're attracted to who you are as a person, not what the facade that you're putting up.
Totally. And I think a lot of people just think, oh, what's my ideal client going to like? What colors do they like? What styles do they like? But I sort of think the kind of ideal client you want is someone that is closely aligned to you. So they have the same values as you. They probably have a similar personality to you, and they like certain styles that you like as well. So it's important to think about, what your ideal client likes, but often it's just so aligned that I think it's easier just to think what feels true and authentic to me, and then you'll attract the right people into your business life. Like, I've seen a huge transformation in terms of the kind of inquiries that I get now that I've developed my branding. And, it's also in combination with putting myself out there, which is so, so important as well. Because the thing I always say is we can develop this amazing branding for you, but if you don't show anybody, if you just think, I'm going to put my website out there and then I'm just going to get organic reach, it's like it's not going to happen. And it's a sad fact. Like, you can't just expect, people just to come to you. You've got to put yourself out there. So I've seen, many clients that we've developed amazing branding for, but they don't take those next steps, which is why it's so important for me to kind of educate them on other aspects as well, because everything is so interconnected. And that's something that I've learned a lot this year. It's not just one magic bullet that's going to sort everything out for you. It's not just your branding. It's not just having great marketing. It's, they're all interconnected. And if you have one kind of missing link in that chain, then you're probably not going to be as successful as you want to be. So
yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you, Emma. I love you guys are so passionate. I really love that. It really comes through, and I think that's a big thing too, is being passionate about what you do and having that confidence to be passionate, because it really shines through and it helps clients really understand. I think your passion and really understand why you do what you do. So I love that. Thank you.
Therese, you know, it was interesting yesterday, and Emma, you just reminded me of one of the people that I was coaching was making a video, and I said, "Oh, so why are you making this?" She goes, "Oh, her answer actually wasn't actually about getting customers." And I went, "Don't you want customers?" She goes, "Oh, yeah, I suppose so." And I went, "Wow, if your intention to make something, like if you're going to put it out there and you're going to create an ad or, you know, what you work with you or make a video, the intention has to be to get customers, doesn't it?" And that blew me away. I mean, you need to get really serious about doing this properly, like not just to participate. What's that? Sorry?
What was her reason for it then, if not customers?
She honestly, she didn't have a clear idea of why she was doing it. She was putting it out there. I guess the easiest way to explain it is she was putting it out there, as in she was playing the game or participating.
She thought she had to.
Yeah, because she's got this business idea and she's wanting to put it out there and play the game so she can say she's playing the game. But she wasn't mentally like going, I need from this ad, I need 5 to 10 customers, or I need this is going to work. And that way, if you're going to do that, it's going to work properly. And that's why, you know, someone like you, Emma, is vital. You know, I have my strengths, you have your strengths, Teresa, and Emma, you have yours. Unless you're doing these things properly, they don't work.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like just throwing the dart into the dartboard and just hoping it hits something instead of like going, right, if I'm going to do this, let's do this properly. Let's play the game properly, because everyone else on there, lots of other people are.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the whole thing around it, not just being about style for branding, but it's about having a strategy as well. Or I like to say it's a combination of strategy, style, and soul. So you want to put yourself into it, and you want to be strategic about what you're doing, and at the same time you want to be stylish as well and be appealing. So I don't think you need to choose one or the other. You know, like it's that combination of it. And it's like you don't want to just be putting stuff out there with no strategy behind it. It's like if you know, we can put pretty pictures out there, but it's not helping anything, and it's probably not going to see you having a return on investment and attracting anybody. It's when we start getting strategic with kind of showcasing how are you different, how are you going to stand out, that I see a difference. So.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Thank you so much. Hello, Lisa. How are you?
Yeah, good.
I think this is the first time we've chatted, so this is exciting for me because it means I get to know you. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I studied at the Institute of Integrated Nutrition,
Yay.
the health coach. I finished that in 2014, and then I kind of had a break. I lost a bit of confidence and wasn't sure if it was what I wanted to do. But now I've got back into it, and I just got my first client, so that's exciting. So I had my first real session with her today and got paid, so I got my first payment. That's good.
Wow, that's a good win on a Thursday.
Yeah,
and I felt like it went well. Like I felt like I helped her a lot as well, so that was good because I wasn't sure how it was going to go. It was interesting how Andrew said about wanting to say all the right things and impress them, and you just need to hold the space. I was conscious of that, but I think I did talk too much. But yeah, holding the space is something that I need to get more comfortable with.
Did you get too excited? Did you get too excited, Lisa?
Yes.
Yeah. It happens because you're so passionate, and then it's you get so passionate and you end up just talking too much and giving away far too much information.
Yes.
And I don't know about you guys, but I think when you're doing this too, is you've got to make sure that you hold some information back for the next session.
Yes, exactly.
You know? Yeah, I feel like I gave her too much help, and she's actually doing really well. I've already had the health history with her 2 weeks ago. she's moving quite quickly. She's starting up a yoga studio, so I'm like, oh, she's ahead of me. But, yeah, so it's good to see her doing well, and yeah, so yeah, it's exciting. And I'm also, I just got into doTERRA oils, so, and that's just new, but I'm really loving them, so I want to get into selling them as well. And I've been writing a book as well, so
just casually writing a book, you know. What's your book about?
Well, I've kind of been, it's kind of my story, but also, I guess, like a self-help, health and wellness. I don't really have a structure or a focus. I've just been kind of journaling and writing notes for the last 4 years. And then I put it all into like headings and chapters. And so I've got heaps I need to edit. And yeah, I'm just enjoying the process rather than pushing myself to get something out there. And I don't even know what the right process is for writing a book, and maybe I will do some sort of short course, but at the moment I'm just something that I want to do for me, but also I think it will be something good for other people as well, I hope.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut in, Lisa. Have you read, this would be amazing for you if you haven't read it, is Elizabeth Gilbert's book Big Magic.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, like the process is where the fun and the joy is. Like that's the part you have to enjoy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The rest will take care of itself.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I heard someone say the other day that with books they don't earn much income, and you know, you can waste time on them, and there's lots of different avenues of getting books written, like people doing it for you, really quick ways of doing it. But for me, yeah, it feels like a process that I want to go through for myself. Yeah. It's kind of, so I guess
sorry. I have a delay, so I feel like I'm coming in the silence, but I'm cutting in on people. I'm so sorry. I was just going to say, like a year and a half ago, I actually wrote a cookbook when I first started doing the health coaching, and I forced it. I had all the recipes, obviously, and stuff, because that's what I was passionate about, but I forced a lot of it, and then I self-published it. And I had no friggin' idea how to run a business back then to start with, or write a book or any of that. And I really just went through blind, borrowed money to get it published. I sold all the copies that I had, but it was a long process. And so I say, if you are taking your time and enjoying it, just do that. That's amazing. Yeah. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Just, enjoy that process.
Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome. Cool. And I'm so excited you got your first client. That's such an amazing feeling when that happens. And it'll just build that confidence for you too now, to know that it does happen. You can get clients.
Yeah. It was hard though, like, because it feels like so long. I guess it hasn't been that long, because it was September 2014 when I finished. But I guess like you see everyone else like getting clients and that, and it wasn't happening for me. So I just thought maybe this isn't the right path for me. Maybe I was just doing IN for my own self-development, and I'm meant to be doing something else. But I think I just needed that kind of year off to get a bit stronger and a bit more grounded, because obviously to coach people you have to be, very strong and comfortable and confident with yourself. Exactly. So I guess I've just got to the point now where I'm ready. But when it did happen, I was so excited. But then the next day I was almost like kind of fell in a heap, because you have to go. You have to go through that transition of always like looking up to people, being inspired by people, learning, asking questions, and then all of a sudden you have to become that person. And that really freaked me out when I was like, that kind of realization happened.
Yeah. And just
pressure.
It is, yeah. And just to know, I felt the same way when I finished my studies, and I felt like all these other people had clients and they were doing so amazing, but that's a facade too. Don't believe in the bullshit, because I really did believe in it. I was like, oh my God, these people are getting so many clients. But then when I started mentoring these health coaches, a lot of them don't have clients, and a lot of them are putting up the front and talking the talk, but not necessarily having the clients. And I know, because I did it myself for a good 6 months at the very start, you can put out as much as you like, but if it's not talking to the ideal client and those other pieces that I guess we've been talking to don't mesh up together, a lot of them don't have clients either. And I didn't realize that until I started mentoring them and seeing those gaps. So just, just have that confidence in yourself now and know that what you're doing is amazing, and try not to even put those other people in your, blinders. It's just you, and you focus on what you do best.
It's a lot of trust, isn't it? There's so much trust involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because there's that sneaky little voice in your head that goes, who the fuck's going to listen to you? Like, seriously, who are you to do this? Like, why you? There's other people who are much smarter than you out there doing this.
Yeah.
And if you listen to that, sneaky little voice, it'll get the better of you. It's just a lot of trust. It's like, no. Okay, cool. I can hear you, but you just go and sit in the back seat. I've got this.
Yeah.
Like the big magic. I think she mentioned
But that's exactly the analogy. I use that now in my coaching. It's the fear. It's like your best friend when you go on a road trip. It's like it's in the back seat, and you just, whenever it goes to speak, you go, cool, I know you're there. You're always going to be there, but I just don't need to listen to you.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're my best friend when you don't talk.
I was listening to a Marie Forleo video the other day, and she said, like, even she's so established, obviously, and so respected, but she still gets those moments of self-doubt. So it's like, if she's going to get that at her level and after all she's been through, then it's like it never goes away. And I think that when you remember that, it gives you a bit more confidence even when you're starting out.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Even Oscar-winning actors still still throw up before they go live on stage. There's a famous one from a guy from Britain. He won an Oscar, and he still gets absolutely shit scared before he goes on stage. And he's like in his 60s. And he never goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And the day it goes away, you get bored anyway.
Exactly, it's part of the excitement. I think too, for the especially for you, Andrew, I guess the people that you see in your day-to-day life, and when we're with the health coaching and stuff as well, it is a very visually, what's the word I'm thinking of? People are very into their appearance, I guess. It's an appearance thing. And for me, a lot of my blocks that came with the health coaching was, I don't look like that girl. I don't look like that healthy girl. How can I tell people how to be healthy? And, I think that's something that a lot of people deal with as well as a block. It's like, I don't visually fit the part of being that person who can tell them how to do this with their life, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's just your perception of what that part looks like, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's so common. A lot of the health coaches that I mentor have had the same sort of thing. It's like, but I'm not this person, this, glowing golden person drinking green smoothies all day. So they feel like they can't sort of attract clients. But that's it. If you don't have that confidence, that's why I wasn't getting clients. I had some things sort of happening, but other things weren't. So it just didn't all mesh together. But yeah, very, very cool.
I don't think it's exclusive to the health industry either. Sorry.
No, you're right.
I was going to say, I think it doesn't matter what industry you're in. I think there's always this perception of what you should look like, or what you should speak like, or how professional you should be, no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just typing.
It's like sorry, you go.
No, you're right. I was just going to say, I'm just typing to Cass to see if she can talk to us. So you guys go.
Yeah. Do you know, Emma, about the whole professional thing is, it's not until I stopped being so professional and actually started to be really myself. Like when I'm coaching live, especially, I feel like for 2 hours when I do my sessions at this agency, I'm completely lost, and I swear like a trooper, and I throw myself around, and I laugh, and I take the piss out of everybody, and I'm everything but professional. However, my results there are amazing. And it's, if I sat there and was like being very professional and shows what I was talking about and stuff, those people aren't going to keep coming back, because what they're getting is they're saying, oh, Andrew's Andrew. You know, he is what he is, and he's fun and likable, and they come back. But if I was like Mr. Vanilla, you know, it's like they've got other options of Mr. Vanilla or Mrs. Vanilla, don't they?
Absolutely.
You know?
And I found it with my own business as well. Like when I made that transition to my new branding, and it's very warm and inviting and personal and inspiring. Those are the kind of words that I use to describe it. You know, that kind of gave me the confidence to just be myself in the way I communicated. Like I think when I had my black and white identity, it was all very, you know, professional. I felt like, you know, I had to write every email very seriously, no smiley faces, and, you know, just keeping it what I thought was professional. But I think that, you know, when I made that transition to just be myself, everything changed from there. So it's so important.
Yeah.
Yep.
And who wants to be the same as everyone else anyway? Like that's why I left my corporate job, because I didn't want to be just another uniform in a little herd of sheep going everywhere. And I think if you do start conforming to that, the same as everyone else, you know, what sets you apart from the next branding person if you are just conforming the same as everyone else? And I think that's why being you and having your own personality, that shines through, and that's the thing that attracts people, not that you're exactly the same as the next person, you know.
Totally.
It's
and
quite hard to do that too. Scary. Actually, no, it's scary to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think that we confuse like being professional with being corporate, you know, and that you can still be professional while being fun and being yourself. And I think that's something that I follow.
Yeah, exactly. I think Cass is with us listening, but I don't think she can speak. So I think she might be with the kids today. And I think Ellie has gone again. Yep. Okay. Awesome. Well, I really loved that. Thank you. I haven't really said. Hopefully, you guys know what I do. I think you have. I think you do. So I'm not going to bore you with the details. I really love this. I love that you guys have come together and had this convo today. And as I said, I have recorded it, so I will be putting it on the group so that others can listen to. And very particularly, I hope you don't mind, but I have a group of girls who are doing, Emma knows because I've interviewed Emma, and the girls know Emma very well. But I have a group of girls at the moment going through like a mastery for 6 months. And these are all very important conversations that I think people need to hear. And especially for you, Lisa, as well, like getting that first client and that feeling, you know, a lot of my girls can relate to that. I know a lot of other people can relate to that as well. So there's only 6 of them, but I hope you don't mind. I'm going to share the video with them as well, just so that they can hear the conversations. But I do really appreciate you coming today. And don't forget that today is Shine Day in the group, so please feel free to put up your amazing offers. I know that you all have amazing stuff. Lisa, have you sort of started promoting yourself out in groups or anything yet?
No, that's something that I need to do, and that scares me. But so I've got a lot of promotional things that I need to do. I've got a lot of work to do, a lot of admin, my website, and
admin.
Admin,
Hey, Lisa, I was just going to add. I didn't want to bring it up too, but I sound like a bit of a wanker. I just finished a book, and it's called A Journey of Riches. You know, discovering the gift through adversity, like basically getting the most out of our challenges. And I would, as a guess, most of us got to this point now where we're coaching and doing these things and being of value and service to others is via a poignant part in our life which was reasonably challenging. And you know, doing with your book is the the greatest thing I got out of that process was the trust and the play. And I could write for days and days and days, and it would just be all rubbish. And I still wrote though. But then I would rock out 3 chapters in 2 hours one day, because it was just you were in that space. So just it's that trust that everything you write, even if it doesn't even sound right, that you can always go back on that day when you're in the zone and rewrite it. But at least you've got the backbone. You've already got something. And that you have to trust that what you've got to say, people will be interested. And they will. They will. I mean, all the greatest scientists, discovery, everything that was created in this world was done by people who went through the same processes as us. And halfway through, they were like, oh, man, I don't know if people are going to, this whole car thing, no one's going to want a car.
Or a light bulb.
Or a light bulb, or, who's going to use it? They can use candles. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really good.
Yeah.
The person who invented the car, I forget, I use it in my talks, but if he had have asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. And
it's true.
he invented the car, and look at it now.
Very true. It's like if someone ever asks you, like when I was in my old work and they wanted to change the systems over and we were so used to using the one system, I'd be like, oh, bloody hell, what a pain. But then you get onto the new system and you learn how to use it and you're like, holy, this is amazing. And it's exactly like that. And I think your horse analogy was way better than that. But anyway, it's so much like that. And it is just a little stepping stone right now. But everyone has been, I think this is the reason I wanted to start this group, because I was in other groups and I guess they promote themselves as being for people in this stage. But I think there's that gap sometimes, because there's the people who are already doing amazing and there's still the people starting out. And for the people starting out, seeing those other people, the facades maybe, or the people who actually are earning the $1 million a month, like, good on them. But for us, people who are still at that start stage, we need to know that this was a stage everyone's been at. And that person who got $1 million a month didn't just do that in a day, and if they did, then they're amazing. But it's a 1 in 50 million or something person that can do that. So I think that's why I love this group, because we can have these discussions and we can identify that it is something that everyone's gone through and it's very normal. It's not abnormal. And I really want to sort of, you guys are great. You guys really interact a lot in the group. And that's the thing I want to sort of promote as well. The more we interact with each other, the more confidence it's going to help us build and the other people that are in the same stage as us. So it's like I just ranted. All right.
I think that's definitely true. And I think that's a really lovely group. I've loved being a part of it. And I think that if you're new to all the groups and promoting yourself and everything like that, it's a good idea to find a smaller group like what we've got, because it's really intimidating when there's those 10,000 people groups and you think like, just how can I be a part of that, and how can anyone even notice me, and just having so many eyeballs on what you put out there is so intimidating. So I think start small, and you kind of it's like a muscle. You just get more and more used to it as you go along, and get more confidence as you keep posting, and then you'll be off. So.
Yeah. And sometimes you do get lost. Sometimes the worst thing is posting in one of those big groups and having crickets. And that's not necessarily because your office shit. It's because your post got posted the same time as 10 other ones, and it got pushed to the bottom of the page. And in reality, unless these people are friends with you on Facebook, they don't get notified when you post. So it is. I've found when I first started in the groups, it was amazing, and I got so much business from it. But I've realised now that I don't need to be involved so much, and I am trying to go a bit more local and keep to the smaller groups, because that's where you get the best interaction. And connection with people. So yeah, if I can, yeah, at least there, if when you do start posting, I totally go that way. Just try and stick to the smaller ones. And
it feels like the big groups are very competitive too.
Yeah.
You know, when the small groups, this is just my gut feeling, the small groups, I feel like you get seen, you're also there to be of service, but you're also there, let's face it, to get business. But in the big groups, it's like you're putting stuff in there, but it's almost like it's way more of a game. It's way more of you're actually really playing a game.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. There's this small groups, you're typing on someone's thing because you're generally there. Like, I know that person, here's some advice for you or to help. But when I am doing it in the big groups, I'm only doing that. I mean, I'm just being completely honest here. I'm only doing it because I'm like, oh, I'm just wanting to get you to know me. I'm just wanting you to get me to know me. Here's some bullshit that I'll throw in there. And you go, oh, there's Andrew Eggleton. Oh, he's been around a little while now. It's a game.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It
almost
is.
to be treated as one.
Yeah, and it's a huge machine, and sometimes it's easy to get lost in the machine and really just feel like you've been spat out the arse end. And that's not what you want in business. Well, even for you as a person, I obviously know I run a business, but for me, it's something that I'm really passionate about. So when I start feeling like it's lost, and for me, it's all about sort of, I really do go with my heart. And if I feel like it's lost and I'm getting tied in a machine, I actually left a few groups this week because of that. And it took a lot for me because I've been in them from the very start, and it took a lot for me to leave them. But it's about what feels right for you and what you're passionate about, and then that flows into your business. So that's, definitely a big tip. If you are going to start doing your promotions, find ones that really suit where your ideal client hangs out, and really just find nice sort of little communities. I think we think going into the big ones is great because there's like 10,000 people, but there's 10,000 people and you get lost really easy. So yes, that's our tip.
Nice.
I'd say just keep consistent with it. You know, like sometimes I post things that people are interested in. Sometimes, you know, like it is crickets or maybe it gets lost. And I kind of just realized it doesn't really matter. Like if no one sees it and no one likes it, who cares? Just dust yourself off and post again. Like, I guess if you're not too tied to having a successful outcome, you know, then you can just keep going and keep moving forward. If you're so worried and so conscious of it, then it's just going to knock your confidence down and you're not going to want to post anything. And that's so consistency, I think, will get you sales in the long run.
Yeah, I think that's the difference too. And you've got your confidence now, but probably a year ago when you were still in that, you know, that phase, it is so hard if you post and get no, you know.
Look, absolutely. And for me, I mean, I only started in the Facebook groups this year. You know, like after running my business for 3+ years, I never even explored it. And then I started with one group and I didn't post. I was just in there, you know, lurking around for so long. I was just lurking around, and I was so nervous, and I thought, you know, no one's going to care what I post, and you know, all those normal things that people think. But now I feel like I've gone to the other end of the spectrum where like it's almost a little bit addictive. Like you love to, I think connection is something that I really crave in my business, especially working from home. You know, you don't get those little chats with your colleagues. You've got no one. So the Facebook groups is kind of that little bit of socializing for me in my day, which is really lovely. But on the other end of the spectrum, you don't want to become too obsessed with it, always checking, getting those notifications that you can't actually get your work done. So for me, it's finding that balance at the moment. You know, I went from not wanting to post at all and being scared about it to really liking it, you know, almost too much. And I think you've got to find the ground. You know, it's difficult when you see there's all these people. Like, I know, Teresa, you're on like all the groups, it seems to me, and you're always posting. Not anymore. You see those set people that are always posting and you think, I've got to do that too. But, you know, sometimes it's not realistic to your business, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur, you know, so you can only do what you can, I think.
Yeah. And I think that's it. I'm only actually in 5 or 6, even though I know that sounds like a lot. But I know now, because I've been in them for 6 months, what days are what day. So I go in and spend an hour and do all my posting, and then I try not to touch it again, you know. And I was the same. I work from home, and sometimes I really just don't see anyone for a couple of days. I'll be lucky, maybe Troy will pop over, I'll have Reese, but then I probably have a couple of days where I don't see anyone. And it's not like I'm isolated. I'm not on an island, but I do feel like I am because I hang out in my little island at home. So for me, I found the Facebook groups were great, but it's still not that connection that I was after. So now I've started going and doing some visits locally, working with some local tradies, which I'm finding very exciting as well. So it's just really good, I think, to get out and just meet those new people and stuff as well. So using my beautiful bank terminology that I used to tell my clients when we were doing our investing is diversify. Don't put all your eggs in the one basket. So if you're thinking about going all in on online, then that's great, but also just trying to keep your connections organic as well, sort of outside as well, because there's going to be times where the groups, after a while, the groups get a bit stale and they're like, okay, cool, oh, here's the next new thing. So, you know, and that will happen. So just make sure you sort of diversify yourself and get involved in the local community as well as that online. And then you're always going to have that to go to rather than just focusing on the one.
That's true. I mean, I guess it's just one aspect of your marketing and your sort of connecting with people. Yeah. Not your only. And then, you know, there'll be lots of different aspects that you might want to explore, whether that's your newsletter or blogging on your website or whatever it is that, you know, there's a lot of different pathways that you can take. And I think it's important to focus on a few of them, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what I see people fall into, just going from one extreme to the other and then really getting down in the dumps because it hasn't quite worked out the way it should have. But, you know, spread yourself, put little bits everywhere and then it'll just work out a lot better. Just won't be as crazy. So all right, Cass is asking me what work I'm doing with tradies. I don't know if that I think we should end the call there. All right, thank you so much, everyone. And yes, I'll put the video up probably the way my internet is. It'll probably be up in about 6 hours. So awesome. Please feel free to put your offers in today. And if you have any questions, let me know. Apart from that, I'd love to see you guys again next time we do this and also interacting in the group.
Nice. Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Nice to meet you.
Guys. You too. See ya.
See ya.